Back to markets, and let's try and see where the market is headed. Kunal Bothra is here in the studios as always. Kunal, hi, morning. Quite disappointing yesterday that, we gave up all the gains that we garnered through the day and didn't quite build up on, Monday's momentum.
So yeah, I think at one end we can say that the markets, sort of disappointed yesterday with the index scaling, initially towards the 25,200 mark on the Nifty, and then I think to close it, we just closed marginally above the 25,100 levels. But then I look at it this way, that it's the fourth consecutive day of the market recovery, and that too after 8 consecutive days of the market's correction. We've recovered more than 50% of the losses which we had incurred in the 8 days of straight correction for the markets. There has been good positioning change which has happened from sectoral front. We've seen a different mix of sectors trying to take advantage and move up higher. Strength in the banking index, the private sector banking stocks, recovery coming back into large cap names like Reliance Industries, ICICI Bank, which are the underperformers yesterday. Nifty IT index seeing a tinge of short covering. Even few of the real estate stocks or the realty names, I think those sectors or in those stocks within the sectors are also seeing a comeback. So when you have such kind of a mix where the underperforming sectors for months, when they start to get into a bit of a reprieve rally, that indicates that the market sentiment is getting a little bit more better than what was earlier. Yes, after this 4 days of a straight price gain, you might expect the index to just about get into a zone of consolidation. But then I think if we hold on to those round figure marks, psychological levels of 25,000 broadly for the index, I would still believe that the uptrend is intact for the index. My targets on the upside still remain at 25,500 for the Nifty over the very near term.
And Kunal, you think it's banks which are going to lead the charge?
Yeah.
As has been the case last 2 days?
Yes, absolutely, Aisha. So, we were actually looking at the relative strength scorecard for many of the sectors. So, initially the end of the month of September, it was the only 2 sectors, the metal index as well as the PSU banking index, which were performing very well. Third came the energy index, and then you had the other, indices like auto, etc., which were in the 4th and the 5th category. Now, apparently, in the last 2-3 days of this price recovery for private sector banking names, private sector banking in the sector now lands up to be one of the third sector in terms of strong price performance. So that's a very strong comeback from the private sector banking name. And historically, we've seen that whenever the top 2, top 3 sectors, when they manage to just about regain their momentum after a massive period of an underperformance, that generally indicates that it's a very strong sectoral trend in the making. And then add to the fact that, yesterday we saw a tinge of tier 2 private sector banking names making a comeback, Federal Bank, Citizen Bank, etc. And that generally happens when you see confidence oozing into the entire sector, led by the large cap names or the large cap recovery like HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank, which we saw yesterday. So I believe net-net, it's not just about the private sector banking sector as an overall outperforming, but I think it's the constituents within which is indicative that the market sentiment is improving quite significantly within the space.
Okay, and Kunal, let's have your stock ideas then on that note.
So I'll go with a differentiated set in terms of stock picks today. No banking, stock, but then SRF is something which looks attractive at current juncture. The stock heading towards a breakout. There's a 50-day moving average breakout, a 200 DMA breakout, which has already happened into the stock price. So would look out for 3,020 as an immediate target. Stop loss could be kept at 2940. And railway stocks were back in focus yesterday. We saw many of the railway names heading towards the breakout. Theatagar is what I would suggest as a buy. We'll look out for targets in the range of 955, stop us at 910.
Okay, so those are some stocks that Kunal's liking this morning. But Kunal, what about